One person wrote to me about the t-shirts and was like, oh, these t-shirts are whack. I'm disappointed in you. You could have did better than this. What is this mess? And going off on your girl, right? And I realized that there's so many critics out there. And nothing, let me tell you, nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing. Move forward anyway. Because I think about the alternative. Oh yeah, no, it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. But I'm doing something. There was someone who came to my video. One of my videos. The comments are still there. It's on my video. I believe it's the video I did where I said done, where I said I was done, or the video I was talking about being angry, or the one black man stand up. It was one of those videos that I did, this past set of videos. And basically in the comments, this guy was like, oh, you're never gonna make it. You're never gonna have a show. You're not good enough. Oh, you're a loser. Your messages are whack. You'll never get off of YouTube. You're only good enough for YouTube. Blah 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 blah. Blah, saying some things, right? And for another person, maybe this would penetrate them and make them feel bad. But it actually, I can't talk to you about how much this filled me. It filled me. And you know why it filled me? It filled me because I know that I am in motion, that I am in pursuit. Number one, I had the courage, honey. I had the courage to talk out loud about what it is that I wanted, announce it to the world. I had the courage to do that. Two, I had the courage to commit to it. Oh, honey, I committed to it. And I dove into it. And three, I am in motion, baby. I am in motion, going after that thing. I'm moving forward. I'm doing something. What is the alternative? What is the alternative? Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, but I damn sure, honey, listen, I damn sure rather try. Because when this life is over, honey, I will look back and say, I tried. I did that. Let me tell you, I am missing nothing in this life. Nothing. Everything that I've wanted to do, I have done. I wanted to travel. I traveled. I wanted to go to college. I went to college. I wanted to see the world. I saw the world. I wanted to be a graphic designer. I was a graphic designer. I became a videographer. I've been a marketer. I've been a child, an adult. I've been a woman. I even worked at a strip club in my 20s. I was a waitress. But I worked at several strip clubs. I worked at a white strip club, which was a gentleman's club. And then I worked at the booty shaking club. And the environments were completely different. And it was an experience. Look, I lived in South Beach for 3 months. I traveled through Europe. I lived in Japan for a year. My life is full. God, I've lived 3 or 4 completely different lives in this one life alone. And so it's like, as human beings, what's the next? What's the next evolution? What's the next step for us? So for me, my next step was to show, but I have to remind myself of what it is that I've done and have continued to do along the way. And I'm happy. There are some things that I do want to do. I want to settle down, and I want to have a house, and I also want to have a loft, and I want to do so much more. And it's like, if we don't create these things for what it is that we want to do, then, and we don't have to do it. I don't have to have the show. My happiness is not going to be dependent on that. And I'm not going to let that deter me from what it is that I have right now. And I released it. And you know what happened when I released it? I thought back, because listen, honeys, I went to film school. I did undergrad. I studied psychology, and then I studied mass media arts. And I remember the passion of being in film school, where you recorded something simply because you wanted to, because it was important to you, because you wanted to get that out there, because it energized you. And so I decided, show be damned. I'm going to film what energizes me, what interests me, what I want to see, what I want to film, what I want to do to help people. So I started this series called Ask an X. I've been doing a lot of filming. I've been talking to different people, an ex-stripper, ex-control freak, ex-accommodator, person who was an ex-chronic relationship person, even experts. I talked to a few experts who were experts in the field of dating and relationships. And what I've done is the questions that you guys submit to me, I ask these experts. If you're not on my Facebook page, please come to my Facebook page. I don't really like Facebook, but it's a great way to stay in contact right now. But come to my Facebook page. I've been asking for the questions on Facebook and also on Instagram, also Twitter. But Twitter has the 140 characters. So stay in touch with me however you can. Make sure you're on my mailing list, because I'm going to actually send out a message when I send out this video for people to submit their questions, because this has become like a new passion of mine. And I'm going to be talking to some more relationship experts and just different people who are talking about love and relationships. Because you know what? When people were like, oh, who are you, Tonya? You're not married. You're not this. You're not that. Right? And I started talking to people who were who were not necessarily experts, but who answered the questions that you all submitted. And I realized that there's a wealth, my goodness, there's a wealth of information and a wealth of knowledge out there in ordinary people, wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience in ordinary people who are living their lives in the trenches like us. Now, there's also some not so good advice out there, because one of the people who I spoke to said that he thought it was a good idea to have intercourse early on with the person that you're dating, because if you don't, somebody else will, and then the person that you didn't have sex with will end up bonding with the person that he did have sex with, etc. And I definitely don't advise for anybody to enter into a sexual relationship out of fear that somebody else is going to get that person. What is for you is for you. You are in a constant state of creation. Hold that intention. And so it's like, for me, when I talk about the show, and the reason why I mentioned those different criteria, right? When I say what is for you, hold the intention. Did I ever really even hold the intention for my show, or was the show just a distraction from what is happening right now? Are you using your dream as a distraction the way that I did? So it's like, what is for you is for you. Feel it, taste it, touch it, hold that thought. But the thing is this, right? I believe, this is my theory, and you can tell me how you think. I think that it's all about that feeling that conjures up inside of you. Like, why does any person want to be rich? Is it that they want to be rich because they want to have lots of money, or because they want that feeling of security, or because they want the feeling of pride or happiness or relaxation, or because they want the feeling of having accomplished something so that they could tell their parents, oh, look, Ma, I did it, or being able to prove to the old people in their neighborhood that they did it. Oh, I wanted to say this before I went. Oh my goodness. I know a man, I tried to coach him, but the relationship didn't work out because he wouldn't show up for himself in the way that he needed to show up. But coaching, I can only do but so much, right? This man, he left the United States 7 years ago. He has 2 children who are now 12 and 14. He hasn't seen his children in 7 years. Because he broke up with his ex, and so now he's living outside the country, and he wants to come back, and he wants to come back with all of this money to show everybody that he made it. So he left the US to go and become a businessman outside, because the competition was a little bit less, but the money's also less too. So he's struggling. He hasn't seen his children in 7 years. And I was just thinking about this before I made the video. Because you know what? Children don't care about money. Children do not care about money. That when all is said and done, they will not, oh my God, you're talking about he left 7, how much is 14 minus 7? That's 6, right? He left his children when they were 6 and 4. Now they're 12 and 14. I don't know if my math don't sound right on that, but something along there. So it's like you've missed out on half of their lives at this point. All for to say that you're going to come back with some money when children, they have no concept of how long it takes to be able to afford a certain something. They have no concept of it, but they do know what spending time with you is like. It's like, I'm going to say this, and this is going to be the last thing I say before I leave the video. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about this, right? And I mentioned living moment to moment and how life is made up of moments for a reason.